Hey, what's going on, my friends? I thought you might be interested to know that coming up here very soon, I'm running a 7-day intuition masterclass. It's going to be 7 days of live workshops, ceremonies, meditations that we do together as a collective, as a group, all for the purpose of helping expand your intuition. And I know you're already very intuitive, so am I. Most of us were born with sort of like predisposed to be naturally more intuitive than most people. But as a lot of us have learned in life, talent can only get you so far. And I found that when I take the time and put in the energy and the focus into really trying to go deeper with my intuition, like anything in life, it's expanded. And for us to get better, get more clear with our intuition, it implies more guidance, more downloads, more assistance from our higher consciousness in creating an amazing life. And one of the primary intentions I have for running this is to help people like you develop your intuition to the point where you trust it fully. I've met a lot of very psychic and intuitive people, far more psychic and intuitive than I am, honestly. But when it comes down to it, they aren't trusting it. And they're sort of holding back. They're holding back from the world their true potential. And right now, the world needs people like you to be firing on all cylinders. And I know if I can do my job and help you go a little deeper with your intuition and trust yourself a little bit more, it's going to make your life better and also make the world a brighter place. So that's kind of one of the main reasons I'm doing this. So anyway, if this interests you, there's a link down below. You can go ahead and check it out, or just keep watching the video because I'm going to break down each of the days to give you a clear idea of what to expect. So here's what you're going to be experiencing over these 7 days. Day 1 is going to be all about clearing away your intuitive blocks. Again, we're already naturally intuitive, but for most of us, listening to our intuition has not necessarily been encouraged by our parents and society. We've also experienced, pains and traumas throughout our life. So we have this sort of energetic residue sort of laying over our lens of intuition, if you will. So we're going to be clearing the blocks. How? With something called Somatic Release Breath-work. Similar to holotropic breath-work. I'm not sure if you've heard of that. It's a type of breathing that's going to put you into a physiological state. It's going to be a ceremony. Day 1 starts off with a big ceremony where you will have the opportunity to become aware of these blocks and release them in a very noticeable, visceral, experiential way. This is not going to be something you imagine. This is going to be you crying, maybe, laughing, yelling, and purging out these stale, old energies blocking you from your intuitive potential. In fact, I'm a certified breathwork practitioner, by the way, and my mentor named Steven, he said, when we clear, which is what we're doing on day 1, then we become clear. So the fastest way to become more intuitive is to clean away what's blocking you right now. And that's what we're going to be doing on day 1. Day 2, we're going to teach you how to open up to channel, to bring through information, guidance, wisdom, inspiration, not from your mortal human self, but from your higher self, from your soul, from your higher consciousness. And the way we're going to do it is by opening your third eye. This is something that fascinated me a long time ago when I heard the song Third Eye by the band Tool. I looked it up online. What is Third Eye? What is this song? I like the song, and sure enough, I read about what it is. The third eye is your 6th chakra, and most of us have it sort of closed or calcified, if you will. But it's pretty easy, I've come to find, to open it through vibration, through visualization, and through meditation, which we're going to do together. But once you can open up your third eye, you basically unlock a lot of your dormant psychic abilities all at once. And this is something that a lot of people claim to help you do. I've literally proven that I can help people do this because earlier in my YouTube career, I would give away this 3-step process of opening your third eye. Again, involving vibration, a visualization, and a type of meditation all at once. And I've tested it on thousands of people. And the results, the feedback, which I didn't even really request, but people would just email me saying, Victor, holy cow, that worked. I opened my third eye. I see the indigo lights. I feel more intuitive. And all these breakthrough, mystical type, eye-opening, no pun intended, experiences happen through this 3-step meditation that we're gonna get to do as a group, live, if you show up live. Then I'm gonna teach you how to channel your higher self. This is kind of opening up the channel, day 2. Now we're going to be actually channeling your higher self through something called automatic writing. This is something else I've taught to hundreds and hundreds, almost probably thousands by now, of people. And the reason I like automatic writing is because it's very easy to learn and extremely powerful. In fact, I would have coaching clients sort of hear that I would tell them we're going to be doing automatic writing soon, and they would kind of like freeze up. And I could see them, I could like feel them over the phone even becoming doubtful and skeptical, like, oh man, I don't know about this. And I would always be so elated when like the next day after we would do it together, they would read to me what they wrote down. And their own mind would be blown by their ability to channel their higher self. It's very easy, it's something that you can do. And it's a process, again, I've done on a lot of people, and it works. And once you can, if you just do only this one thing, if you learn how to automatic write, you will literally be able to obtain divine guidance at will whenever you want. It's really that powerful. Number 4 is we're gonna help you amplify your psychic senses by stimulating your Kundalini. I'm a certified Kundalini yoga instructor, by the way, and it is said that every human being has a source of this Kundalini, this spirit, cosmic consciousness type of energy stored at the base of their spine. And we're gonna do certain breathing postures. This Kundalini yoga, by the way, it's very non-athletic. Anybody, I don't care how old you are or how limited you are in your ability, it's more about visualization, breathing, and these very mild little postures to open up the different chakras and allow more of this Kundalini energy to flow. And what it's going to do is going to go up into your different chakras and clear out even more. And take what we've already been doing and spice it up and add a little bit of gusto to it. So it's going to amplify, literally, the dormant psychic abilities, the channels of communication that you've opened the past few days. And on day 5, we're going to come back to the somatic release breath work. Because as I mentioned before, when you clear out and purge out, you get clear. And I wrote down here, DMT breathing. The type of breathing we do in this breath work literally releases certain amounts of smaller amounts of DMT in your brain. And that's why people can go on these journeys and have visions of their spirit guides coming down and astral traveling, and all these different mystical states of consciousness are very accessible because the breathing releases DMT. It's going to be the same type of ceremony similar to day 1, but with a different intention. You're cleared out now. Your Kundalini has risen, your third eye is open, and now it's all going to be about journeying and connecting and getting very clear guidance from your inner wisdom, your higher self, etc. Very, very powerful ceremony. This is going to really open a lot of you up in ways you probably can't even see coming on day 5. And day 6, I want you to be able to meet what Dolores Cannon, I'm not sure if you've heard of her, but Dolores Cannon calls it your primary spirit guide or your primary guardian angel. We all have a soul, if you will, it has been said, believe it if you want, I do, that has agreed to watch over us our entire life. But we have to, in a sense, ask. We have to sometimes ask for help, ask for guidance. But a lot of us don't, because there's it's tough to believe that there's actually something perhaps looming around me right now in this room, waiting to help out if need be. There is. And what we're going to do is a QHHT, hypnosis-inspired guided meditation, which will take you very deep into a meditative state that will allow you to have an encounter, a real, rememberable encounter with your spirit guide. You'll learn their name. You'll get a message from them. You'll see what they look like in a sense. I'll explain that. Most of what we perceive them to look like is more about our own filters, but that's for day 6. The point is, I want you to have an experience and a knowing from that moment forward that your spirit guides are there and they're here to hook you up whenever you need be, and you'll even have a name to call upon, okay? Now, with all that said, day 7 is super important. We're going to ground you. We're going to help you integrate all this. It's so powerful to do all this, but you don't want to linger out there in these higher planes of existence and higher states of consciousness, because it can make us a little bit detached from reality. And it's important to ground this in and ask ourselves, how can this benefit me? How can I take this magic and at an appropriate pace start to channel it into my everyday life so that it's starting to become reflected in my world, in my life, in my career, in my relationships, in my health, and in my attitude, in my personality. So it's very important that we ground in and learn how to integrate all this stuff, because we're going to be going very deep and very far out there in a sense in a very short span of time. So don't miss day 7. Now, all of this essentially is to help you release what's blocking you. Release what's in the way of your natural intuition from being manifest in your life, and reconnecting with that source of guidance, that source of wisdom, that source of inspiration at a deeper, more clear level, so that you can expand your gifts, your abilities, and essentially your ability to hear the soft whispers of your soul, so you can start to create this amazing life of your dreams. There's another thing I want to share before I go. By the way, if there's any of this interests you, there's a button down below to sign up. I made it very affordable considering what we're going to be doing, and I'd love to see you there. But there's one other thing I don't see a lot of folks talking about when it comes to doing all this kind of stuff, opening your third eye, channeling, automatic writing. A lot of us do it because we're intrigued to do this kind of stuff. It's kind of cool. It's kind of mind expanding, right? But there's, in my own experience anyway, a deeper goal, a deeper benefit that is not often talked about, and that is this: reverence. Reverence. The ability to experience a greater depth in your moment-to-moment everyday life of your everyday life. I had a dream last night, as an example, where I woke up hugging my little child. He's actually sitting over there reading. His name is Sebastian. And I woke up hugging him as he was a little baby. And I'll never forget what it's like to hold a newborn child. There's a depth of love and contentment and God, if you will, that is unexplainable. And it's so often, we all have moments like this, whether it's holding a child or sitting outside drinking a cup of coffee and hearing the birds, or going through it for a nice walk, or writing or painting, whatever it is you like to do. We all have these opportunities to experience all these things. But by going through this 7-day process, you'll be able to experience a greater depth of the joy, of the love, of the bliss, of the divine connectedness that we are all a part of. This goes well beyond creating cool psychic abilities that you can brag to your friends about. This is more about, how can I become more present to the divinity in every single moment of my life? So anyways, my friends, as you can probably tell, I'm very passionate about this. My heart is in this. This is a very inspired idea, and I've never done this before in this context, this affordable. Normally, to experience this much of me and my techniques that I've practiced over almost a decade and experimented on people, you'd have to either come to a retreat of mine, or you'd have to coach with me, both of which are well over $1,000. Right now, you can sign up below for an extremely small fraction of this. I hope to see you with it, my friends. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Again, there's a button down below. Click it if this resonates. And with that said, much love to you and peace.